So, I mean, some of them are in, like, cleaning products. I mean, why is there 50 ingredients
Right.
for something that's supposed to be healthy for you, you
Right.
know? I mean, it's disgusting. So my diet started off as high protein, low carb, but I want to get into actually how to lose the weight, and then I'll go more into the diet. What doctors don't tell you, unfortunately, they don't actually educate people on it. I had to learn all this myself through extensive research and just a lot of trial and error. 3,500 calories is equivalent to 1 pound of body fat. So so 3,500, that's 1 pound of body fat, right? So what a lot of people will do is they will, end up binging or eating a bunch of unhealthy things because those processed foods make you crave. They hit like the 3 pleasure points in your brain, so you keep buying their products.
Right.
So what I'm saying is the reason why I bring up the caloric measurement of 1 pound of body fat, because if you have 600 calories of lean ground chicken or a whole food, like a banana, whole food basically means like a 1 ingredient food.
Right.
Or if you have a bag of a bunch of synthetic shit into it, I'm just being honest and being real, it's going to make you crave that stuff that is foreign to the body. You start craving stuff that is foreign. All this sugar, you'll never see a sugar tree. You'll never see a plant grow, like, literally have sugar cubes on it.
Right.
They literally extract that stuff. The amount of sugar that we are consuming nowadays is, I mean, it's ungodly, honestly. It's going to make you crave it. It becomes an addiction.
Right.
The only way to cut it is to, I would say to completely cut it out. I mean, that's honestly what I did. I will never, during a weight loss journey, you need to realize you need to cut it out. I have it once in a great while, but even after I have it, then I start craving it again. It's hard to get back on track.
Right.
So when people say keto, the reason why keto doesn't work long term is because they are eating the processed keto foods. You can follow a ketogenic diet, just do a 1 whole food, like when you eat. So for example, I ate a pound of beef every day. There's also a misconception about red meat. A lot of these doctors and healthcare people that say red meat is bad for you, they are serving people who are obese and who eat McDonald's and who are overweight, and that is not real red meat. I eat 90% lean ground beef. I eat a pound every day for breakfast.
Wow.
It has a bunch of protein in it. Protein keeps you full. Processed food doesn't.
Right.
And I will have maybe like a banana for a lunch. I also do intermittent, and then I eat like my large meal at dinner. Now, I'm also working out a lot, but I lost a bunch of weight by just eating lean protein. And what people don't realize is if you have a bowl of Lucky Charms, or even if you have like a keto process, all the ingredients for breakfast, you're missing a lot of vital nutrients. There's a lot of nutrients in meat, and it's not just that. I mean, even when it comes to fruit or vegetables, people say it's expensive to eat healthy. It's really not. It's expensive to purchase those products that have the processed stuff in it that is marketed as healthy, but it's actually not. It's terrible for you.
Right.
So I lost the weight by eating lean protein, and that stuff satiates you so much longer. I mean, you're not going to be satiated off like something that comes in a bottle or something that comes in a packet that has 60 ingredients in it. You're going to be more satiated off the nutrients that your body is deprived of, because everything is so processed nowadays. We're so used to feeling like absolute shit. When you actually do eat healthy, you feel amazing. You just won't go back. When people say, oh, I feel amazing, they have a false sense of amazing if they're doing the processed foods. You actually genuinely feel alive again when you start eating, like non-processed foods. Everything I eat is organic.
Wow.
I'm not saying you have to eat organic, but it's all like, 1 ingredient foods. If I want sugar, I'll eat a banana. I won't go eat a keto cake that has 50 ingredients in it. You know what I'm saying? It's synthetic.
Right.
You can't deprive yourself of, sugar forever. It's just you have to, natural sugar, not cane sugar, which is the stuff they extract from plants, and they bottle it up. And, I mean, it's really concentrated, and it goes through your whole bloodstream, makes you crave it for life until you cut it out completely.
Wow.
You can have sugar, but there is a difference between a sugar that comes from a fruit and a sugar that comes from a Hershey bar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a really good point that you hit on because, I just want to share with my audience because I'm actually vegan. So hearing you talk about like all the meat and stuff, like I just want my audience to know like I talk about this a lot. Like whatever works for you is what works for you. So
That's the thing. That's very true. So what I'm saying is the vegan diet is also still, I want to emphasize, a whole food, one ingredient diet. I mean, it really is just what works for me. It works for everyone. But the vegan diet, I have personally not done it, but it's definitely a way to cut out sugar. The only issue for me, I would say, is just not, when people say go vegan, do it the right way, like a raw vegan or like a whole ingredient. I wouldn't say get the processed vegan stuff. I know you know that, but I'm saying I don't want people to think like, it says vegan on it and it has 50 ingredients in it. It can go both ways for any diet,
Yes. And that's what I really share as well is like when you go vegan, like you want to make sure that you're getting the quality foods like the lentils, the beans, the rice, like 100%. The quinoa, like all those things to make sure that you're getting that protein, like he said, because protein is what keeps you full. Protein fuels, like protein is that muscle builder. Like you need protein in order to live a healthy, sustainable life.
Right. But, and there's so much protein in a lot of vegan foods that they don't realize that are whole food. You know what I'm saying? That are like one ingredient food.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
For example, the beans and I'm not super educated on the vegan diet, but
yeah. Like there's protein in kale, there's protein in mushrooms, cauliflower, like all these things, like you feel like you can't get enough protein. Same with like supplements. Like you want to be careful because like he said, like there can be a lot of ingredients in your supplements, but if you find ones that are natural, organic, that are coming from the source and don't have a lot of added sugar like he's talking about, because sugar is addictive. That's why like when someone starts drinking pop, like they're so addicted to pop, they need that pop because of all the sugar that's in it and the carbonation, and it's addicting. But once you cut it out, you don't have that craving anymore. Like I used to drink pop and I used to crave it, but once I cut pop out, I'm not sitting here craving a pop. Like so
it eventually does go away. I mean, whether you do the vegan route or carnivore, at the end of the day, we're all just trying to cut out the sugar, and that really is what is killing people. I mean, seriously, it's terrible for you. By the way, after I cut out the sugar, I got my lab results back about, I would say 11 months later. I went from being a full-blown borderline diabetic, and I am not anymore. I mean, it's emotional to talk about. Like, honestly, I thought that would never happen. I completely reversed all of the bad stuff in my body.
Beautiful.
Just from cutting out sugar.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, so what do you recommend to someone listening that resonates with your story?
What I would recommend is to just get out and start it. It's not about finding motivation, it's about discipline. I never really had motivation. When I say it was a risk, it wasn't just a risk in getting off medication or cutting out sugar. That first step is the actual step you take. Even if you feel like absolute crap and you don't want to get out the house, force yourself. And you keep forcing yourself and keep forcing that lifestyle, you are eventually, I don't mean to get too spiritual, but I believe God has a path for everyone. Eventually, you will manifest the life that you that you will want. You just have to jump into it. There is no such thing as motivation in the beginning. You feel like crap, you don't want to do it, you stay on it for a week, but that's because a lot of the people that are starting these diets are having the really processed, million ingredient foods. It's all about natural healing, spiritually and mentally. I mean, even if someone isn't a real spiritual person, it really does open your mind up to a whole new world when you start eating the right foods in the right way. Not just that, but fitness too. People don't realize how much that helps you. I mean, I wish a doctor, I know it sounds funny, would have just told me, hey, educate yourself on a caloric deficit. That's another thing I was never told about. If you eat more, whether you eat 10 pounds of broccoli or you eat 50 pounds of meat, if you're going over your calories, then you're still going to gain weight. So for me, I'm 6'1", I'm 188 pounds. just to keep my body alive, I need 1,877 calories a day. That's just to stay alive. If you even if you were to eat, like, you know, I hate to say it, but if you were to have like a Coke a day, which is terrible, don't do that, but you would still be losing weight, because 3,500 calories is equivalent to 1 pound. My biggest advice for someone, starting their weight loss journey is seriously get educated, but from the right people. For example, this podcast, a lot of the stuff that you stand for, and from hearing you talk, and me and you have both woken up because we chose to take the step that a lot of people are, scared to. And I think my advice would be just to educate yourself, listen to people like Stephanie, listen to people,
like
I don't
yourself.
want to say like me, but I would just say,
like
it's good to hear
you
people's experiences.
You can own that.
Because it really can change your life to hear a perspective that's not necessarily mainstream, but it's not mainstream for a reason, because it's a money-making industry.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And so I really just want to thank you for, coming on here, really sharing your story with everybody, because, I feel like it can impact a lot of people. Like, even people who have 5 to 10 pounds to lose, like, this is really inspiring to know and to be educated. And so I just want to thank you again for really coming on here and sharing your story with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course. So I always like to end my episodes with a Bible verse, and your verse that you chose today is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And, I absolutely love that verse. I think we've actually had that verse on here once before. So I'm going to have you share a little bit of why that's like your go-to verse and why you chose to share that one with everybody today.
So when I was hitting rock bottom, and even when I, still get really, because sometimes I don't always feel like going. Like I said, it's about discipline. You just got to push yourself every day, and it's so rewarding, even after you lose the weight, just to feel good all the time. And when I don't have that strength, I find my power within Christ and within there's a lot of BS nowadays in the media and stuff, and I think it's so sad that a lot of people have lost their relationship with God. So when I don't have that strength, I find it, from Christ, from God, and a lot of times I do want to give up, but I really feel like, everyone goes down a path for a certain reason. If I never were to gain all that weight, I would still be feeling like, not too good physically and mentally, just because of the processed foods. Even if you don't have weight to lose, that stuff heals you spiritually, mentally. So when I don't have strength, I find it within my faith.
That's so, so good. And I just want to thank you for sharing that, because it really is by God that we are given the strength that we have. Like, it's not through us. It's not through our discipline. Like,
amen.
It's through God who gives us the strength to do everything that He is calling us to do. So I love how you said, like, you don't have to say, like, I don't want to get too spiritual, because we are spiritual here. Like, praise the Lord.
Right. I wasn't sure of your views. I would just, so the thing is that I am a non-denominational Christian.
Yes. Me too.
I think it's very, like I said, I don't want to ever push religion on somebody, but once I started, because I didn't always have a relationship with God. I wouldn't say I did until about when I started this journey.
Right.
All those times that I fell down and didn't want to get back up, I really do feel like God lifted me. I'm not kidding you. It was something in me that just said, keep going. And it wasn't just myself. It really is like a force from the outside. You can feel it. And I started being in my faith more, having open talks with God out loud. And it was so weird in the beginning. Right. It really was. Like, I wasn't used to that. Right. But you really do feel the love. And sorry, I'm going to be emotional, but it really did, it got me where I was today. Not just the clean eating. Having a relationship with God in general. It really has healed me spiritually, mentally, physically. I don't know. It really has changed me for life. I just look at the world from such a different point of view, and I really do believe that it is because God got me through it. I would have never known the knowledge I would have known today if I wasn't put on this path. I believe everyone, Even if you can't find your purpose, you'll find it within your faith. I promise you.
So good. So good.